everybody, Phil Midler here with Houston Kiteboarding. We're in the Houston store. Just got the LIFTX dropped off along with the Lift5 for a demo, which is great. So we've gotten out in the water, done some surfing, done some riding, really got into these, charging the batteries, weighing all the stuff and all that. So myself, Bobby Deeden, and our buddy Taylor, tried these out. We had a bunch of locals on them as well to really put them through their paces. I'm just going to go over kind of generally all of the assumptions that you and me had made about this, the LIFTX. We had kind of thought it was going to be a certain way. Now we have a full production unit. All the other units we've seen and have ridden were not from the factory. They were, samples, or they were prototypes. This is a production unit. So this is what you will get when you buy a LIFTX. So right off the bat, you can see it in my hand. Every LIFTX comes with the Elite controller, which is the same controller, the same Elite controller that we've been selling for all of 2024. You know this if you've been around. Come on in here and you can kind of check out what we got right away. Foot strap inserts, right? What? Amazing they put foot straps inserts in. This is a big liability for a manufacturer, is to put some inserts in the board, where you can put foot straps on it. So when you're jumping, it's putting a ton of stress on. This tells me that Lift is very confident in their, manufacturing, in the strength of this board to put those inserts on here. The other thing that it comes with is double leash anchors right here. Another great, you just have to have it. If you're going to have this out in big surfing it, you got to have a leash attachment. Double leash attachment is like, that's the way to go. Double it up, baby. Right, that's the way I'd roll. Recessed handles, which is nice. The other one had those big, the last Lift 1 through 4 had those big handles here, which are actually really nice and robust. But in the board bags, bumped up higher in the board bags, and then they tend to collapse over time. They also held water. This is pretty sickety stuff, but when you use Efoils like we do every single day, the handles are wet. Even though you let it dry a little bit, you put it in the bag, maybe there's a bit of a smell in the neoprene, you know what I'm saying? This whole thing, EVA, and then, recessed handles, there's nowhere for water to kind of hide. So onto the board. You can see the recessed spot for the board or for the battery. This is the battery, tiny little guy. It measures 13 inches by 10 inches, roughly. That's rough numbers. And this kind of fits right in there. Two little side inserts that fit into the bayonet style fittings. Kind of clamps down like so. And then you cam it right in, and then that's it. And then your foot's actually on this when you're riding, right? And then when I put my finger underneath, there's a little button kind of on this handle that releases it, and it just pops right out like so, and that's it. So while we're talking about the battery, because the battery is the heaviest, single piece, battery weighs about 18.75 pounds. This entire setup with wings, fuselage, not fuselage, the propulsion unit, the board, the battery, the whole deal is 48 pounds right there. It's hard to weigh actually with everything. I think we're right at like 47.7, 47.8 pounds. So right around 48 pounds for the whole deal, which is not light, but lighter than the old other Efoil units. So I'm gonna put this in there again just so you can kind of see it fire up. If I just press this button quickly, and this is when it's in or out, it's just gonna give me a reading of the battery level. You can see it's at 100%. Now if I hold it, that's how you're gonna turn it on. And there it goes, it's booting up. And that's kind of the deal. We're not gonna do a total techie video here, but I just thought I'd show you that quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off, hold it down, off it goes. Just like the old one where the E-box would blink, it's off now. So I'm gonna hit that button, take this out, and off you go. So I think that's it on the board side. So I'm gonna set this down and flip it up so you can kind of see the bottom. We're gonna talk about my favorite part, and that's this cat right here. Okay, this little guy right here. So, when I was talking to clients on the phone, I'd be like, you know, it's about a size of a silver dollar. And it ends up being just over 2 inches in diameter, this new motor. You probably can't tell in the video, but this is a lot smaller. Look at this configuration. Look at this, right? I'd like to call it a motor pod, but it's not. It's fully integrated into that mast. I mean, it's just beautiful, right? Just right in. And this is the same for the Lift 5. So one of the most common questions we get is, you know, the position of this motor. All LIFTXs are going to come with this propulsion unit with the lower Efoil setting here, okay? And then around June, they're going to come out with a higher setting. The ones I saw was just below this Lift logo. I think it's going to be higher than that. I think it's going to be around 6 inches, you know, just from foil drive and talking to pros and stuff. That's about, I mean, that's kind of where everybody wants it. The thing with this system is because of this narrowness and because there's no pod on this, this is going to have so much less drag than something like, you know, even the integrated mast for the foil drive or like another Efoil. There's just very little drag here. Another change for the LIFTX compared to the Lift 5 is these blades on the folding prop are much smaller. You know, doesn't have as much thrust, but you also shouldn't need as much thrust. You know, but it's that version 2 that we saw, you know, in 2024 for the folding props. Very efficient and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna finish this up. Or I'm gonna get to the wings here. So this, we didn't have the LCS version with our sample here, with our production sample. This is just normal wings. So, you know, we answered the question. You can use all of your current wings, all of your future wings on the Efoil. Now your Efoil is going to come with an LCS wing. All that means is that front wing, that 210 Camber Pro, or whichever one you want, is going to have a quick release clip right here. Now that front wing can still use any of your rear wings, current and future, any of them. They just hook right up. And then any of the wings you have, you know, like we use training wings. We have some like 250 Surf V2s I'll use with a really big guy, or like a 300, the C-Pig. I'll put the C-Pig on there if somebody's really big or they're apprehensive, they don't want to go fast. I can just bolt it right on. This is the, you know, this is the final production of that propulsion unit, and you can see I was able to bolt up some of my current wings right to it. Okay, so that's about it on the wings. For the LCS propulsion unit into the board here, you know, you guys have seen this action. Just pull up on this guy, it releases it, and the whole thing pops out, just like that. You know, just sets right in, and you clip it, and it's, you know, that's the whole ball of wax. These bolts just hook the mechanism to the bottom of this propulsion unit. You know, there's some parts on there that I guess you could change, but like you never use these. It's just this one latch. So between this latch and the quick release here, that's not on this one, but you will have, it takes like 30 seconds to put this together. And I don't know about you, but I spend a lot of time in my life putting bolts together on different foils and stuff. Dude, unbelievable. Having this come apart, like, I'm always bringing Efoils out to people's cars. You know, some guy will show up with a Tesla, he bought 2 Efoils. We got to get him in the back of that Tesla, you know, and I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. But the question is always, can I keep my propulsion unit on my board and still fit it in? And you can in the back of a Tesla, actually. You hatch back and put the, I know, I just had to do it. Put the boards down. You know, the 2 propulsion units slide in like this. This is a completely different situation. Completely different situation, you know. We're gonna be able to do, you know, take this apart every time. And a guy in that configuration, like this is always going to be taken apart. There's no reason to leave it together. It's a liability, right? Which means that your weight for hauling it around is a lot less. You know, I don't know what this weighs yet, but a considerable amount. You know, when I feel the board with it uninstalled, I mean, this is really light. There's nothing to it, you know. Okay, so that takes us to the next point. So the board uninstalled here, I'm going to put it in the case. This is the new case. Not anything crazy. It's just a, you know, like their other cases, it's black. It's really robust. It has more padding. I noticed it has a full like 1/2 inch of solid padding around it. Oh, it's a minor thing, but you definitely use the bag every time. The board's in the bag. I'm going to flip it over. A couple of handles. There's a really nice, I mean, look at this, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, the clips on the other one's all plastic. You know, God, this is so much nicer. There's a bigger wing section on the LIFT5. The LIFTX, it's a smaller unit, so they don't have room for that, but they do have a nice flap here. This is a great place to put, you know, like riding gloves or booties or something. I don't know what you put in there actually, like spare batteries, but
tail wing.
You don't use them. Charging cable. I don't know. It's got a little bag. You put the stuff in a little pouch. So now that we have our Lift X put away, we're gonna charge the batteries. Same charger, the Delta charger here is great. You know, you're gonna get the same robust, quick charging, reliable charging where you're not starting your house on fire from this guy. But they changed the interface. So you can see here, we used to have a data cable. It's literally just is connected to where that data cable used to go in. And for those of you that are new to Lift, you know, this is the same exact charger we used on the Lift 1, 2, 3, and 4 units, all the generations of battery up through the Gen 4. So the new battery has a different kind of connection. Here it is. You know, but this part of the charger is about the same. You know, it still has a cable. There's only one lead instead of the double. And then this data cable was replaced by a Bluetooth control, and that's this right here. So charging is going to be a bit different, but you only have one cable. You know, it's a lot cleaner, which is nice. So the only other thing I'll say about the charger is since you're using the Elite controller, one of my pet peeves on the Elite controller, and if you guys know me, you know this, is that you have to charge it fairly often. For those of us that do lots of sessions every day, the standard controller is nice because you didn't have to worry about your controller being charged. You know, your data cable here, you can get an adapter for this for a normal USB. And my plan is to, on all my chargers, put my controller, you know, in here under the USB and actually charge my controller at the same time I charge the battery. And then you remember to take it off. It's the whole thing. It's like the cheat code, because this controller actually takes a while to charge. You know, so if you put 2 hours on it every single time, you have to remember to take your battery off. You know, if you don't want to go to full percentage, you're going to 50 or whatever. You pull it off, you take your controller off at the same time. It's a nice little way to do that. You know, to make sure that your batteries and your controller are charged for every session. So that's a little cheat code on that one. So finally, we're going to talk about the bag for the propulsion unit. This is only for the LIFTX. The Lift 5 is going to have a different bag. We call this, I think Bobby coined this, the violin case. Sounds like a mobster, you know, hit bag or something, but it does look like a violin case. So kind of pros and cons. This is going to be a lighter protection situation than the big hard case. What I'd say is this is a more usable piece of equipment. Like not a lot of people use the hard case. It was great for shipping. It was great for, you know, not breaking the propulsion unit, but like it was hard to get the zippers around. It was just huge to do. You know, generally you're not carrying around your charger.
It's got the top entry.
Yeah, exactly. The whole thing.
You can unzip it from up here.
Yeah, look at that. If you want to access that little pouch inside. Yeah, isn't that cool? Yeah, that's sweet. So yeah, a pouch for your Elite controller and all your odds and ends. And then, yeah, you can fit your propulsion unit in there. I'd throw it in there, but I'd have to I don't have the quick release on here. See? I'd have to undo those bolts. It'd take me forever. Well, you know, I'd be here for 20 minutes taking bolts out, so we're not going to do it. But yeah, if I had the quick release, I'd just undo it quick and toss it in here. Okay, so that's the LIFTX. We have surfed this. I'm going to show you some clips now of us out there. We have surfed the LIFTX. Everybody asks, can you surf the Lift? You can surf it. You can flat water pump it, even with the lower motor setting. If you have questions on that, call us or shoot us an email and we'll answer all your questions. The thrust on the LIFTX is significantly less than the Lift 5. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing on it, doesn't matter, but we were able to get 45 minutes easy kind of e-foiling, high power setting e-foil, like, you know, really using the power. That's another question we get is the time frame. So I'd say 45 minutes to an hour on that battery with like moderate use. I think I got all the questions. The weight of the Elite controller is 1/2 pound, roughly. People also ask about that. Will the standard controller work on this? We actually don't know. I haven't done that yet. That's a good question. I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. I want to know. That's it. So if you think of any other questions, we've been updating our frequently asked questions page on our website for the Lift 5 and the Lift X. Shoot them to us. We'll put them in there and we'll answer them kind of as we go along. We're learning about maintenance. We're learning about best practices. We're learning about how to fix things when we break them, because we're right ahead of the pack, breaking everything before you guys do. We're gonna get it all figured out. Yeah, so that's it. If we can quote you out for a pre-order on the Lift 5 or Lift X, you can either reach out on our website, HoustonKiteBoarding.com, by phone at 281-508-6485, or just come on into the shop here and see us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you out in the water.